Kiss me immediately, or I perish. Those 5 words irrevocably altered everything when Naomi impulsively embraced a stranger in Seoul's most exclusive club. She was utterly unaware that the man in the Tom Ford suit was Kang Min-jun, Korea's most ruthless CEO, or that her desperate kiss would ignite a continent-wide scandal and transform her into his latest obsession. However, this is the unspoken truth about publicly kissing powerful men. It carries a financial burden beyond your means. Let us rewind to 6 hours prior to that kiss. Before the ensuing chaos, before everything spiraled out of control, Naomi Blake was celebrating in her Brixton flat that morning. A 26-year-old fashion buyer for a major retail corporation, she had just secured the exclusive account, her most significant career achievement to date. Her boss, Miranda, messaged her, "Congratulations." Her mother called from Birmingham, beaming with pride. Life was idyllic. Then her phone rang once more. An unknown number, a Korean area code. "Naomi Blake?" The voice was cold, robotic. "We have your roommate." Her blood ran cold. "What? Who is this?" "Jeanne Park. She's bleeding, crying, begging for you." A pause that felt interminable. 40 million won by midnight, or she dies slowly. The line went dead. Naomi stared at her phone, her hands trembling so violently she almost dropped it. John, sweet John, who had offered to share her Seoul apartment, who prepared kimchi jjigae every Sunday, who had taught her to say thank you in Korean. Kidnapped. She contacted the police. They were unhelpful. "Ma'am, we cannot investigate crimes in South Korea. Please contact the embassy." The embassy placed her on hold for 20 minutes. Another text arrived. A photograph. Jeanne tied to a chair, blood streaming from her temple, terror in her eyes. The accompanying message: "Get on the next flight to Seoul. Come alone. Tell nobody, or we mail her back in pieces. Stay with me here, because this is where avarice transforms individuals into monsters." Naomi did not hesitate. She booked a flight departing Heathrow in 3 hours. She haphazardly packed clothes into a bag. She did not inform her boss. She did not tell her mother in Birmingham. She told no one. She simply grabbed her passport and fled, spending money she did not possess on a last-minute ticket. The flight to Seoul was 11 hours of sheer agony. Every minute felt like drowning. She continuously checked her phone. No service over Russia, over China, just an endless sky and terror churning in her stomach. They messaged her the moment she landed at Incheon Airport. Lotte World Tower, rooftop lounge, 10 p.m. Wear something nice, smile, act normal, we're watching. She took a taxi directly there, the driver engaging in small talk she couldn't register. She changed in the airport bathroom into the only dress she had packed. Red, fitted, the one she had intended to wear for client meetings. Now it felt like a funeral shroud against her skin. The Lotte World Tower loomed 555 meters above Seoul, a monolith of glass, steel, and wealth. The rooftop lounge was exclusive. Connections were required just to bypass the elevator. But Naomi's kidnappers possessed such connections. They had added her name to the guest list. Security waved her through without question. The lounge was teeming with Korea's elite. Millionaires sipped $1,000 champagne that likely cost more than her monthly rent in Brixton. K-pop idols in designer suits. Business moguls brokering deals over whiskey. Everyone was beautiful, affluent, untouchable. And Naomi was suffocating amidst it all, cologne and perfume thick in the air around her. Her phone vibrated. "We see you. Red dress by the window. Walk to the service elevator. 3rd door past the bar. Do it now." She began to walk, her heels clicking on the marble like a countdown, her heart pounding against her ribs. The service elevator meant the basement parking. Once she entered, she would vanish into Seoul's underbelly, where foreign women disappeared. But human psychology is peculiar. When you are truly terrified, your brain makes split-second decisions based on pure survival instinct. Naomi saw him across the room, and something shifted within her. He stood alone at the bar, tall, devastatingly handsome in a charcoal suit that exuded power and old money. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that missed nothing. He personified danger and control, impeccably tailored. The kind of man who made life-altering decisions before breakfast. More importantly, he looked like someone kidnappers would think twice about crossing. She made her choice in a heartbeat, driven by desperation and the primal urge to survive. She traversed the lounge in 6 strides. She invaded his personal space, close enough to discern his cologne cedar and something darker, more expensive than anything she had ever worn. She grasped his lapels with shaking hands. "Kiss me," she gasped. "Right now, please." His hand intercepted her wrist, his grip like steel encased in silk. "Nugus Nika?" he inquired in Korean, asking who she was. "They're watching. If you don't kiss me, my friend dies." The words spilled out in desperate English. "Please, I'll explain everything." He interrupted her. His hands slid into her hair, tilting her face upwards with astonishing gentleness. "This will cost you," he murmured in impeccable English, barely an accent. Then his mouth claimed hers. The kiss erupted through her like lightning, fierce, possessive. There was nothing gentle about the way he kissed her, as if he were staking a claim in front of everyone watching. His hand fisted in her natural curls while his other arm encircled her waist, pulling her flush against his body. She gasped, and he deepened the kiss, his tongue sweeping against hers with devastating skill that left her knees weak. The entire lounge fell silent. Phones materialized. Cameras flashed. Someone shouted in Korean. It sounded like a mixture of excitement, shock, and scandal, coalescing into chaos. When he finally released her, Naomi was breathless, disoriented, her lips swollen and tingling. The room was staring. Every single person fixed their gaze upon them. "Well?" His voice was velvet over steel, his lips still hovering near hers. "You have my attention. Who's watching?" "I don't know." She yanked out her earpiece. The kidnappers had forced her to wear it, and it clattered to the floor with a small metallic sound. 2 men, maybe 3. They took my roommate. Said if I didn't walk to that elevator... Describe them. I can't see them. Black sedan with tinted windows. They've been following me since the airport, watching my every move. His jaw tightened. She felt the muscle jump beneath his skin. He raised one hand, a subtle gesture that summoned 3 massive men in dark suits, who materialized from different corners. They moved like soldiers, trained and efficient. He spoke rapid Korean, too fast for Naomi to comprehend. But she caught the tone commands, not requests, imbued with authority. Then he switched back to English, his attention returning to her with unnerving intensity. "Your name?" Naomi Blake. I'm a fashion buyer from London. I've only been in Seoul once before. I don't understand why you kissed me." His thumb traced her jawline with a possessive intimacy that sent electricity down her spine in front of 200 people. "Do you know who I am?" "No." His smile could cleave glass. "Then you're either incredibly lucky or catastrophically unlucky." He paused, studying her face. "I'm Kang Min-jun. I own this building." The name struck her like ice water. Even knowing nothing about Korean business, she recognized it. Kang Min-jun, Forbes 30. Under 30, CEO of Kang Industries Shipping, Technology, Real Estate. The man who had acquired 3 rival companies before his 25th birthday. She had seen his face on the cover of Business Weekly in a newsagent near Liverpool Street Station. Oh God. Her knees weakened. "I didn't mean to drag you into..." "Too late." His grip tightened possessively. "Every phone in this room just uploaded that kiss to social media. By morning, you'll be trending across Asia." He leaned closer, his breath warm against her skin. "You just made yourself the most photographed woman in Seoul." And you made yourself mine. Let us delve deeper into what that implies. Because this is where jealousy and possession become perilous. Because in Korean business culture, public displays such as that are claims, declarations. You do not kiss someone in front of Seoul's elite unless you are marking territory. And Kang Min-jun had just made her his territory, whether she understood it or not. I'm not yours, Naomi managed, though her voice trembled. Not negotiable. He turned to his security, issuing orders in clipped Korean. Clear the lounge. Send everyone home. Anyone who resists, confiscate their phones. The crowd erupted in protests. Wealthy Koreans were unaccustomed to being commanded. Their indignation filled the air. But Min-jun's men moved with ruthless efficiency, herding people toward the exits like cattle. Within 3 minutes, the rooftop was emptying. Wait! Naomi grabbed his arm, feeling solid muscle beneath expensive fabric. Jian, my roommate, they still have her. We need police. The police are useless. Min-jun's expression became arctic. Something dark and bitter crossed his face. Half of them are on someone's payroll. The other half are too scared to act. His phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, his face darkening. They just sent me the same photo. Your friend tied up. What does the message say? He turned the phone towards her. Korean characters she couldn't read, but his translation made her stomach plummet. It says she's collateral for a debt owed to the Gwangju clan. 40 million won. His dark eyes studied her face with unnerving precision. Why does a fashion buyer from London owe money to Korean organized crime? I don't. I've never heard of them. Then why are they using your friend as leverage? There was suspicion in his voice now, distrust creeping into his expression. I don't know. Tears burned her eyes, frustration and terror co-mingling. This doesn't make sense. I came to Seoul for work. That's it. Normal meetings, normal life. I live in Brixton. I take the tube to work. I buy meal deals from Tesco. I'm nobody. Min-jun studied her for a long moment, weighing truth against deception. Then he made a decision. Come with me. He guided her towards a secluded elevator, his hand resting on her lower back, a searing touch through her dress. The elevator itself demanded a fingerprint scan. His security protocols were evidently stringent. As they descended, Naomi caught her reflection in the mirrored panels. Makeup smudged, hair disheveled from his touch, lips swollen from their kiss. She presented an image akin to someone from East London who had inexplicably found herself in a K-drama. A distinct, unfamiliar self, prone to perilous choices. That kiss, Min-jun stated softly, his gaze fixed on her reflection with an almost predatory intensity. Was it genuine panic or calculated manipulation? Does it matter? She retorted. Very much. The elevator plunged rapidly, her ears popping from the swift descent into the depths below. Because 3 months ago, I dismantled the Gwangju clan's smuggling operation. It cost them 50 billion won. They've been seeking vengeance ever since. The implications struck her with the force of a blow. You think I'm collaborating with them? A beautiful foreign woman publicly kissing me, orchestrating a scandal? His smile was chilling, devoid of warmth. It aligns perfectly with their methods. Blackmail disguised as a lure. Greed often breeds inventiveness. I'm not working with anyone. Frustration laced her voice. I barely comprehend the Seoul subway system. I had to Google which side of the escalator to stand on. Then explain how they knew you'd be at my building tonight. I can't. My boss texted me the location 3 hours ago. That's all. Your boss. A subtle shift occurred in his expression, suspicion sharpening his features. Name? Miranda Chen, Regional Director for N.A. Choi Fashion Group. You know her. The elevator halted, not at ground level, but at B7. 7 stories subterranean, a level that should not, by any architectural plan, exist. The doors opened to a scene reminiscent of a spy film. Multiple screens displaying security feeds from across Seoul. Traffic cameras, building surveillance, and real-time facial recognition software. 3 technicians looked up from their workstations, their eyes widening at Naomi before swiftly returning to their displays. Minjun barked orders in Korean, his voice sharp and commanding. The screens flickered, pulling up feeds. Naomi recognized the black sedan that had trailed her from the airport, now parked 2 blocks away in an alley off Sung-ro. There, Minjun pointed to grainy footage of 2 men inside the vehicle. Recognize them? Naomi shook her head, studying their blurred faces. I never saw them clearly. More commands. The screen shifted to reveal an apartment interior. Her apartment. Furniture overturned, drawers emptied, her clothes strewn everywhere. The Zara dress she had purchased in Westfield, her Primark jumpers. Everything violated. But no Jian, Naomi whispered, a cold dread pooling in her stomach. They're not there. Where did they take her? Running security footage now. One technician spoke in accented English, evidently for her benefit. 3 men enter at 15:47. They leave at 16:23 with 1 woman unconscious. Minjun's phone buzzed again. He glanced at it, his expression turning to stone, jaw tightening. Without a word, he turned the screen toward Naomi. Another photo of Jian, this time in what appeared to be a warehouse. Industrial shelving and shipping containers visible behind her, rust and decay in every corner. The message was in English. Pretty kiss, pretty girl. 40 million won by midnight or she dies slowly. Drop location, Dongdaean Shipping Yard, Pier 7. Naomi checked her watch. 11:17 p.m., 43 minutes. I don't have that kind of money, she said quietly, a note of defeat creeping into her voice. My savings are maybe $4,000. Everything else goes to student loans and rent in Brixton. The money isn't real. Minjun set his phone down with controlled precision. It's a setup. They want me at that pier with cash. Then they kill both of you and rob me. Or photograph me making illegal payments for blackmail. His eyes darkened. Greed is predictable. It makes people stupid. He moved to a wall panel that slid open with a soft hiss, revealing an arsenal that made Naomi's breath catch. Guns, knives, items she couldn't even name, all gleaming under fluorescent lights. Your bait, Minjun continued, selecting weapons with disturbing familiarity, checking magazines and safeties. Your friend is leveraged, and I'm the target, so you won't help. The words emerged flat, lifeless, hope draining from her body. I didn't say that. He checked a pistol's magazine with practiced ease, the mechanical click loud in the quiet room. I said it's a setup. That doesn't mean we're not going. Hope flared painfully in her chest, sharp and desperate. You're going to save her? I'm going to end the Gwangju clan's operations in Seoul. He holstered the weapon with efficient movements. Saving your friend is a bonus. Why would you risk this for someone you don't know? He crossed to her in 3 strides. His hand cupped her face with a shocking gentleness that contradicted the weapons bristling from his suit, the cold steel against warm skin. Because you kissed me, in front of 200 witnesses. His thumb traced her lower lip, sending shivers down her spine. Every news outlet in Korea will have that footage by morning. Every blog, every social media platform. My shareholders will see it. My competitors will see it. His dark eyes held hers captive, possessive, and absolute. You made yourself my responsibility. In Korean culture, that means something. It means I protect what's mine. And jealousy. He smiled slightly, something dangerous lurking in it. Jealousy makes me very protective. I'm not negotiable. He released her, turning back to his technicians with military precision. Pull up building schematics for Dongdaemun Shipping Yard. Entry points, surveillance coverage, guard rotations, everything. Boss? One technician hesitated, nervous energy radiating from him. If the police find out you're involved, The police will find out nothing. Minjun's voice could freeze fire. This ends tonight, quietly. Am I clear? They nodded, fingers flying across keyboards with renewed urgency. Naomi watched the CEO, who should be at charity galas sipping wine in Mayfair, transform into something else, something dangerous, completely at ease with violence, comfortable with weapons and commands that promised death. "You've done this before," she said quietly. It was not a question, but a statement. Korea's business world isn't like London's. He shrugged into a shoulder holster, movements practiced and efficient. Sometimes deals happen in boardrooms, sometimes in warehouses with guns. You learn both or you don't survive. A shadow crossed his face. Perhaps regret or old pain. "I learned the hard way." He glanced at her. "Can you shoot?" "What? No, I work in fashion, not—" "Then you stay in the car." He handed her a different phone, not hers, but something more secure with a reinforced case. "If things go wrong, call this number. Detective Park, one of 3 honest cops in Seoul. Tell him Kang sent you." "I'm not staying in a car." "Well, Jian, you're a liability." The words were brutal in their honesty, cutting through her protests. "You don't speak Korean fluently. You don't know Seoul. You have no combat training." His expression softened slightly, something almost vulnerable flickering across his features. "If you come inside, you'll either get killed or get your friend killed trying to protect you. I can't—" He stopped himself. "I won't watch another woman die because I made the wrong call." The admission hung between them, heavy with old trauma. She wanted to argue, but he was right. And that vulnerability, that flash of pain, told her he had lost someone before, lost them badly enough to still carry the weight. "I hate this," she whispered. "Good. Fear keeps you smart." He moved toward the elevator, then paused, looking back. "And Naomi, if I don't come back, if something goes wrong, you take that phone and you run straight to the British Embassy on Sejongdaro. Don't trust anyone else." They took the elevator to an underground garage that smelled of oil and concrete. A sleek black Genesis GV80 awaited, its engine purring like a content cat. The driver, another massive man in a dark suit, nodded respectfully. "Naomi, stay in the vehicle," Minjun instructed in English. "If anyone approaches besides me, you drive straight to the British Embassy. Don't stop. Not for red lights, not for police, not for anything." "Yes, boss." Minjun turned to her one last time. "When this is over, you and I are having a long conversation about why the Gwangju clan targeted you specifically." His fingers brushed her cheek, warm against her skin. "Because I don't believe in coincidences. Someone wanted you in my building tonight." "Neither do I," Naomi said quietly, fear and exhaustion making her voice shake. "Then we'll figure it out together." He smiled slightly, something almost genuine breaking through his cold exterior. "Try not to die of boredom while I'm gone." Then he was striding toward a different vehicle, a matte black Mercedes that definitely looked bulletproof. Reinforced panels were visible in the dim garage lighting, surrounded by 4 security guards who moved like special forces, checking weapons with military precision. Naomi climbed into the Genesis, her heart hammering against her ribs as if trying to escape. The leather seats were cool against her bare legs, expensive and foreign. They drove through Seoul's nighttime streets, Gangnam's glittering towers, reminding her of Canary Wharf but bigger, flashier, gave way to grittier industrial areas near Dongdaemun. The shipping yard materialized ahead, rusted containers and sodium lights casting orange shadows across cracked pavement. Minjun's Mercedes stopped 100 meters from Pier 7. Naomi watched through tinted windows as he emerged, straightening his suit jacket like he was attending a business meeting in the city instead of a hostage exchange in a criminal warehouse. 3 men appeared from between shipping containers. Even from this distance, she could see they were armed, guns visible in the orange light. Negotiations started. Minjun's voice was inaudible, but his demeanor exuded a lethal calm, a controlled power that remained unwavering. One of the kidnappers gestured towards a shipping container, presumably where Jian was being held. Suddenly, utter chaos erupted. Gunfire blazed from the shadows, originating not from the kidnappers, but from an unknown source. A fourth party had entered the fray. The kidnappers dispersed, returning fire, while Minjun's security team moved with military precision, their well-trained actions indicative of genuine combat experience. Down! The driver forcefully pushed Naomi's head below the dashboard as bullets ricocheted off nearby containers with sharp metallic pings. Stay down! The firefight, which felt like hours, lasted perhaps 90 seconds. The acrid chemical scent of gunpowder permeated the car's ventilation system. When the shooting ceased, Naomi cautiously lifted her head, her ears ringing. Bodies lay scattered across the pier like discarded dolls. Minjun stood at the center, completely unscathed, his suit miraculously still immaculate. His men were extricating someone from the shipping container. Jian, alive, conscious, stumbling, yet moving on her own 2 feet. A profound wave of relief washed over Naomi, making her feel lightheaded, tears welling in her eyes. But then she spotted them. 4 figures emerged from the shadows behind rusted containers. They weren't dressed like common criminals. They wore suits remarkably similar to those of Minjun's team. Expensive, tailored, professional, organized. No, the driver whispered beside her, tension filling the vehicle. No. This is very bad. Who are they? Choi Industries Security. His grip tightened on the steering wheel, his knuckles turning white. This trap isn't for the boss, it's for you. This is about jealousy, about rivalry. The Choi family has sought to destroy the Kong family for years. Before Naomi could fully process this, her door was wrenched open with a screech of metal. Hands, rough yet professional, seized her, dragging her from the vehicle despite her struggles and the driver's shouted protests in Korean. She was hauled across the pavement towards a different vehicle, her heels scraping against the concrete. Through her terror, she caught glimpses of Jian being loaded into Minjun's Mercedes, safely wrapped in blankets. Minjun turned, witnessing Naomi's abduction, his face contorting into an expression of absolute murder, rage, and something that resembled fear. He began to run towards her, gun drawn, but the man holding her pressed a gun to her temple, the cold metal against her skin. Minjun stopped 20 meters away. Close enough for Naomi to discern the war of rage and calculation in his expression, to see the muscle twitching in his jaw. Kang Minjun. Her captor spoke in Korean-accented English, his grip bruising her arms. You took something from Choi Industries last quarter, the Busan port contract. We want it back. That's not how business works. Minjun's voice was lethally quiet, his controlled fury barely leashed. Then perhaps this is how business works now. The gun pressed harder against Naomi's skull, making her gasp. The contract signed by tomorrow morning, or your new girlfriend dies very publicly, very messily. I barely know her. Minjun's face was now devoid of emotion, cold calculation replacing everything else. The words shouldn't have stung. They were tactical, designed to deny any connection and reduce her value as leverage. Yet they landed like a knife between her ribs, sharp and painful. Really? Her captor laughed, the sound ugly and mocking. Then why did you bring 20 men to save her friend? Why kiss her like you were claiming territory? He yanked Naomi closer, his breath hot against her neck. The whole country saw that kiss. You made her famous, made her yours. Jealousy doesn't lie, Kang. Now pay the price for your possessiveness. Minjun's hands clenched at his sides, a gesture Naomi was beginning to recognize. She saw calculation unfolding behind his eyes, options being weighed, odds measured, scenarios war-gamed, a decision being made as to whether she was worth the cost to his empire. 48 hours, he finally stated, his voice carefully neutral. Not tomorrow. 48 hours to review the contract transfer. I need time to prepare the legal documents. 24:36. Or I burn Choi Industries' smuggling operation to the ground and send evidence to every prosecutor in Seoul. Every single transaction, every bribed official, everything. His smile was cold. I've been collecting evidence for months, waiting for the right moment. Don't give me a reason. A tense silence stretched across the pier, heavy with threat and counter-threat. Then 36 hours, but she stays with us until... No. The word was absolute, leaving no room for negotiation. She leaves now. I'll send collateral of my choosing. Not good enough. The gunshot was so close to Naomi's ear she felt the heat, smelled the cordite. But the bullet didn't come from the gun at her temple. It came from darkness somewhere to her left, and her captor's weapon went flying, his hand suddenly bleeding, bones visible through torn flesh. He released her with a scream. She dropped to her knees, her palms scraping against the rough concrete as chaos erupted again. More gunfire, shouting in Korean, vehicles screeching away, tires squealing. Then Minjun was there, lifting her from the pavement with shocking gentleness, his hands warm and steady. "Can you walk?" She nodded, not trusting her voice, adrenaline making her shake. "Good, because we're leaving now." He half-carried her towards his Mercedes, his arm around her waist, the only thing keeping her upright. Jian was already inside, wrapped in a blanket, face pale as paper but eyes alert. When she saw Naomi, she burst into tears, reaching for her. "I'm sorry," Jian sobbed in Korean-accented English, words tumbling out. "This my fault." Explanations later. Minjun shoved both of them into the back seat, climbing in after, his body shielding theirs. The Mercedes peeled out, acceleration pressing them back into the leather seats. They drove in tense silence through empty industrial streets, the city lights blurring past. Finally, Jian spoke, her voice small and broken. "My brother. This is about my brother." Her English was fragmented with emotion, her accent thickening. He stole money from Choi Industries, 2 billion won. But he died 3 months ago in a car accident. Her tear-filled eyes found Naomi's, guilt and shame radiating from her. "They think I have money. Think you know where it is because we are roommates. I'm so sorry. I just needed help with rent. Thought if I live with a foreigner, they will not find me. Thought you were safe." The pieces clicked together with sickening clarity, puzzle pieces forming a picture Naomi didn't want to see. Naomi had been targeted not for who she was, but for who her roommate was. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong apartment in the wrong city. "Do you have the money?" Minjun asked gently, his voice softer than she'd heard it before. "No. My brother hid it before he died. Left me a riddle I can't solve." Jian pulled out her phone with shaking hands, showing them a note in Korean characters. Something about where a river meets a mountain beneath a stone tiger's eye. "I searched for 3 months. Every temple, every park, found nothing." Minjun studied the riddle for a long moment, his expression shifting to recognition. Then he smiled slightly, the expression almost genuine. "I know where it is." Both women stared at him. "Bukhansan National Park. There's a Buddhist temple, Sungasa. The main altar has a stone tiger statue with jade eyes. Your brother must have hidden the money there." He typed rapidly on his phone, his thumbs flying. "I'm sending a team now. They'll have it within the hour." "Why are you helping us?" Jian asked, confusion and gratitude mixing. "We nothing to you." Minjun's eyes found Naomi's in the rearview mirror, something unreadable in their depths. "Because someone very stupid made your roommate kiss me in public, and now she's mine, which makes you mine by extension." His jaw tightened. "And I protect what's mine. Always." The Mercedes pulled up to a luxury hotel in Gangnam, the Park Hyatt. All glass and marble and doormen in burgundy uniforms who didn't blink at their disheveled appearance at 1:00 a.m. They'd seen worse, probably. Presidential suite, Minjun instructed his team in clipped Korean. Full security detail. No one enters without my authorization, and get Dr. Kim. Jian needs medical attention. They rode the elevator to the top floor in silence, the gentle music at odds with the violence they had just escaped. The suite was enormous. 3 bedrooms, a full kitchen, a living room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul's glittering skyline that reminded Naomi of the view from the Shard, but bigger, more overwhelming. Jian immediately collapsed onto a sofa, exhaustion and trauma finally catching up with her body. One of Minjun's female security guards, when had she appeared, gently guided her towards a bedroom, murmuring soft Korean words, leaving Naomi alone with Minjun in the living room. "You should rest," he said quietly, removing his jacket with careful movements. "Tomorrow will be complicated." Complicated how? That kiss is trending across 6 countries. He pulled up his phone, showing her headlines she couldn't read but didn't need to. The photos told the story. Her kissing him holding her possessively, them leaving together. "They're calling you Kang Minjun's mystery woman. Some are calling it a love story, others a scandal." Oh, God. Naomi sank into a chair, her legs finally giving out. "My boss is going to kill me. My mom's going to see this. Everyone in Brixton will be talking." "Your boss has bigger problems." Minjun's expression darkened with something that looked like satisfaction, like greed for revenge. "I had my people investigate while we were driving. Miranda Chen, she's been feeding information to Choi Industries for 6 months. She's the one who told them about Jian. She's the one who told them you'd be at my building tonight." What? The betrayal hit like a physical blow. Why would she? Money, jealousy, corporate espionage? He poured himself a whiskey, offering her one. She took hold of it, her hands still quivering. The Seoul Fashion Week agreement. Her company was vying with Choi Fashion Group for the primary venue sponsorship. The victor would secure exclusive rights to showcase Korean designers for a period of 5 years, translating into millions in revenue. Naomi's thoughts raced. Pieces began to coalesce. If I'm implicated in a scandal, my company's credibility is compromised. We forfeited the contract. Precisely. Minjun's smile was icy, devoid of warmth. Corporate espionage. Avarice cloaked in professional attire. How refreshingly direct. He emptied his whiskey glass in a single gulp. By Friday, I'll dismantle her. Her career, her standing, everything. She'll never again work in fashion. Just like that. Just like that. He advanced towards her, and abruptly the room felt diminished, the air denser. But first, we address your other predicament. What other predicament? Me. He was now near, close enough for her to discern the scent of his cologne once more. Cedar, peril, and an aroma reminiscent of gunsmoke from a skirmish. You kissed me, made yourself renowned throughout Asia. Every individual in Korea now believes you're my girlfriend. My shareholders are calling, my mother is calling. The entire nation has an opinion. I'll issue a communiqué. Clarify it was a misunderstanding. Inform them I'm a nobody from Brixton who committed a foolish error. Too late. The narrative has been established. His fingers traced her jawline. The contact sent an electrical current down her spine, despite everything. And I've decided I favor the narrative. I relish the envy in my competitor's gaze. I enjoy my rivals speculating about your identity. What are you implying? I'm implying we make it authentic. His dark eyes held hers captive, possessive and calculating. Date me publicly. Let Korea witness us together. In exchange, I will safeguard you from Choi Industries. Assist Jian in recovering her brother's funds and securing her safety, and obliterate Miranda Chen's career. That's preposterous. Is it? His thumb brushed her lower lip, simultaneously gentle and possessive. You require protection. I require... He paused, a flicker of vulnerability crossing his features before his composure returned. I require someone who says please, even when their world is crumbling. Someone who kisses strangers to rescue friends. Someone genuine in a city constructed on deceit, avarice, and jealousy. You don't know me. Then permit me to learn. He retreated slightly, providing her space, though not a great deal. 6 months, a counterfeit relationship, public appearances, media photographs enough to appease my shareholders and ensure your safety. Thereafter, we go our separate ways. A clean break. You return to Brixton. Back to your tube commute and Tesco meal deals. No harm inflicted. And should I decline,